Welcome back for our second season of the Breakfast Club Beat, coming to you from the Brand Builder Studios in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm really looking forward to our conversation today. I'd love to welcome in Shawn Lynch, president of the Charlotte Checkers. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Oh, Shawn, this is great. So when you walked in today and I asked you, when did you start with the Checkers? And you said an internship in 2003.
Yes.
I was like, that's when we met.
Yeah.
And now here you are, 23 years later, president of the team.
Nothing's changed, right?
Yeah.
We're both doing the same thing.
I love it. I love that. So, okay, I feel like we have so many things to talk about because actually we were talking for like 45 minutes before we even started this. And I was like, we should have had the cameras rolling because there's so much good stuff. Give everybody a little bit of back. I think most everyone knows who the Charlotte Checkers are, but please tell our viewers and our listeners a little bit about the team and then segue into from internship to now president and how all of that came about.
Sure. Charlotte Checkers is a long history here in Charlotte. 1956, a team was playing in Baltimore, Maryland, and their building actually burnt down. They needed a place to play, and Bojangles Coliseum was being built. So they moved the team from Baltimore to Charlotte, and that became the birthplace of hockey in the South. So off and on since 1956, the Checkers have been here. The Coliseum was its home for most of it. We spent 10 years uptown at Spectrum Center when that was built for the Hornets, but we've been back in Bojangles Coliseum since 2015, which is a great home for us on the east side of Charlotte, and it's the right size, it's the right space for us to be in. It is the longest standing professional sport in Charlotte. People don't realize that, but we've got some great fans, and we've got people that were at the first game in the Coliseum in 1956, whether they were working, whether they had season tickets, and they're still back there today in the same exact seats, which is just crazy to think about.
That is amazing. Since 1956? Mm-hmm. Wow.
One of them, former fire chief of Charlotte, Luther Fincher.
Oh my gosh, yes. I love Luther.
He's amazing. And, he's there with his buddies. Like, they have been coming to games for 70 years in that facility.
That is absolutely amazing. The next time I see him, I'm going to say something about that. I had no idea. That's great.
You should. He's a huge fan. And, I mean, he's a great proponent for the city of Charlotte, too. But I started there in 2003, and I was an intern for our president, Jeff Longo, at the time. I think he was 30 years old, and I looked at him, and I said, if he can run a team at 30, I think I can do it. And then he moved on. He became a vice president of marketing for the New Jersey Devils. And then I was like, do I want to stay in minor league sports? Do I want to stay in hockey? Do I want to get to the NHL? Do I want to, what do I want to do? And the Checkers just kept giving me reasons to stay. So we moved uptown. We had new ownership. It's been different leagues. It's been different affiliations. It's been different. Everything's changed except for me, I feel like. So I've in my 22nd season and got promoted to president in July. But I still come to work every day feeling like it's day one, like I'm an intern and I need to prove myself.
I love that. I feel like that too. When I go to work, I feel like I'm constantly wanting to prove myself and recreate, not recreate's not the right word, always challenging myself to think about how we can do something bigger, how we can do something better. I think when you keep that fire going, things don't get boring, and you are constantly pushing yourself and pushing your mind to think about how you can be better for everyone around you.
Well, you specifically, you've built such a brand. You've built your own brand. You've built the Hood Hugger Breakfast Club brand, right? And if you take a day off, a week off, a year off, that might go away, right? Mm-hmm. So how do you make it better? The expectations sometimes are so high of others of you, right? Yes. So how do you push your own envelope?
Yeah, absolutely. When we reconnected, we were apart from each other for a while, and then I called Shawn and we reconnected, and I was like, this is so exciting to have you all back. I was so glad you guys came back into Breakfast Club. It's just like such a privilege to have you in our family.
Thank you. We love it.
It's really fun. So here's a random question. Did you ever play hockey yourself?
I didn't. I grew up in Massachusetts, so there was a lot of pros and cons. No, I played baseball, football, basketball growing up. I skated a ton. We turned every tennis court into a roller skating rink. We played street hockey. We played pond hockey. My town my high school didn't get a hockey team until our senior year, and I felt like I was so far down the path with everything else that I never did. But it's been the right sport to work in for some reason.
That's fantastic. So, okay, literally, I feel like we can go in a million different places, and I have so many notes of stuff, like really fun, crazy stuff that I just learned when he got here today that we're going to talk about. But before we get into all that, tell me, like, how's the team doing this year?
We've got a great team. We're sitting in third place in the division. The team in first place is the Providence Bruins. They're very good. So it's going to be tough to get past them. But if you look at last year, we had a run to the Calder Cup Finals. We lost in Game 6 at home, and we're pacing ahead of where we were last year in wins.
Great.
We're getting healthy. The Florida Panthers are our NHL affiliate.
I was just going to ask for you to share that, so thank you very much.
So what that means essentially is that's our player supply. And they unfortunately won't make the playoffs this year, but it means that we'll get some young talent back here in Charlotte. So our roster is going to get better over the last month of hockey, and then we hit the playoffs starting mid-April.
So here's a question I probably should know, but you're going to answer this for me. So like in baseball, you've got your single, double, and AAA. Mm-hmm. In hockey, are there different levels like that, or are you the only farm team for Florida?
There are different levels. Hockey chooses not to use single A, double A, AAA. And the reason for that is the numbers range from year to year, but about 85 to 88% of the guys in the NHL have played in our league, in the American Hockey League, at some point. So those numbers just seem far above a lot of other sports that use the single A, double A, AAA moniker. So if you were to go by that, we would be AAA. There's the ECHL, which we were once a member of.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm. So we're an ECHL team, but right now our ECHL affiliate is in Savannah. So we'll pull up guys. If we have an injury or if we need a guy to do rehab, we'll take a guy from Savannah, bring him up here or back and forth.
So, okay, if there's a year for hockey to be hot, it is right now, right?
Right now, 2026 it is.
Okay, let's just break down what happened in the Olympics is so next level. It's how could you not just be so excited for both our men and women's team? Amazing, right?
Absolutely amazing. The women have built an unbelievable program, and they are the favorites every time they step on the ice.
Insane.
The women should win the tournament. They should win gold, and it's cool to think that they've gotten the women's program to that level. The men are right there, right? Like we did the Four Nations tournament last year, and they beat Canada the first time, and they lost in the finals. And this year they got through it, right? It took overtime.
That game was insane. Like, I was even screaming. Like, it was nuts. Like, don't you feel like every American was going crazy?
Yeah, it was 8 o'clock in the morning. Yes. We all had our coffee and our breakfast, and we're just screaming at the TV.
Yeah. It was amazing. The pride that I felt like every American had when that was happening was really refreshing.
Yeah, it's cool. I don't know why hockey brings it out, and I don't know why it's a USA-Canada thing. They're our neighbors. We visit back and forth. People go back and forth every day, all the time. But there's just something about that hockey rivalry that I'm so glad it exists.
Has your team here in Charlotte, have you had any of the players play here that were on the hockey team?
So we had 10 former Charlotte Checkers in this year's Olympics.
Really?
Which is amazing, right?
That is incredible.
Yeah. So we had, we actually...
They were all on the men's hockey team?
Not on the USA, but between guys that have played for the Checkers at the American Hockey League level over our 15 years in the AHL. We had guys. Right now we have a guy, Sandis Vilmanis is his name. He played for Latvia. Mm-hmm. He got called up, spent some time in Florida, scored a couple goals. He's back with us. We're happy about that. Mm-hmm. We're happy to see his journey. Hopefully he gets to stick in the NHL in the future. But yeah, a guy that was on the ice in Charlotte in October and November competed for the Olympics this year.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so it's cool to turn on the TV, and no matter what nation really was on that stage, there was a guy that played in Charlotte playing in that game.
Yeah, that's so great. So we were talking about this before we started the podcast. I can't think of a more iconic photo than that picture that got snapped of Jack Hughes with the flag draped around him, blood everywhere. Face is a disaster. Teeth are gone. I was like, this is the best shot. This is like, wasn't that amazing?
It's awesome. And that's just the grit that these guys have that, they put their body on their line. They put their face on the line for their country to win.
Face on the line. Exactly. That is great. Yeah. I mean, it was really fun. It was super, super fun. Okay. So this is something that I'm just going to tell our audience I had no idea about. I learned this when Shawn came in here today, so maybe some of you will know this, but I did not know that there is a young female population or group that hockey's become pop culture, and there's romance novels being done about hockey. So will you please tell people what this is? Because until 20 minutes ago, I had no idea it existed.
I think there's a culmination of a couple different trends happening at once, which is fantastic for us and fantastic for the sport. There's some TikTok trends of this name, the Boy Aquarium, has been created. So if you look at a hockey rink, it's got boards, it's got glass around it. So it's kind of like a fish bowl, but instead of having fish in it, it has hockey players. So there's, the Boy Aquarium became a trending thing. You have young girls coming just to watch the guys warm up, watch them stretch, watch them skate, and they're taping it, putting it out there, and it's going crazy. And then you add in hockey romance books are becoming huge. And it's allowed us to theme an entire game on it. Originally, the game was scheduled, I think, for January 31st. Unfortunately, it snowed in Charlotte, and we didn't have the attendance that we wanted.
Yeah.
Nobody leaves their house here when it snows.
Yep.
We love it because people start thinking about hockey. It's winter.
Yeah.
So it's rescheduled for this weekend, and about 450 women are coming. They're going to talk about hockey romance. One of our players is going to be there to introduce himself, and then they're going to go watch the hockey game.
Yeah, that's great. That's really fun. That is something I had no idea was even out there. I feel kind of like very outdated that I didn't even know this was going on.
Download a book on your way home.
Yeah. So, okay, what's that show that you were telling me that's also become really big in hockey?
Unrivaled is an HBO series.
Yeah, and people love that, right?
Love it.
Like my stepdaughter tells me it's her favorite show on TV. I was like, I've never watched it, but...
Yeah, we talked about the main actor from Unrivaled and the women's gold medal winning team, the men's gold winning team, made an appearance on Saturday Night Live, and that's about as big as it gets.
Yeah, that's what we were saying. Like, if you're hosting SNL right now and it's all hockey themed, things are going pretty good in your world. That's fun. So... recently, you guys announced that there was going to be a massive renovation done to Bojangles.
Yeah.
So why don't you share a little bit about what's going to be happening with that?
Yeah, we're excited. The Economic Development Committee in Charlotte just met, and we're going to get $25 million. The renovations it's a 70-year-old building, right? So unfortunately, for the fan experience, that money goes to replacing HVAC units that are built in 1955, boilers that are from 1970. We have to be able to have quality ice, right? We need the temperature to be right more than any other building in Charlotte, just to allow our guys to skate. We played till June 23rd of last year, 95 degrees in Charlotte, and it's super difficult to keep a playing surface.
Wow, yeah.
So little things like that will support the building for a long, long time and keep it for another 70 years. So that's what this investment is going into. There were some council members that said some great things about, we need to start talking about phase two. And phase two needs to be the fan experience. We need more quality locker rooms for our teams. We need, just sweet assets for our fans. We need a better sense of arrival and, parking structures and parking spaces. How do we get restaurants? How do we get local neighborhood mom and pop shops over there? So that hopefully is our next phase.
That's great. How many people are on your team that work for the Checkers?
Our front office staff is pretty small. We're about 15 or 16.
Okay.
But on a game night, it takes about 200 people to put on a game. When you think about, police, fire, and medic that support us, when you think about the people that are serving concessions, that are working in parking, the ushers, the Coliseum staff, the engineers, Zamboni drivers, things like that. There's about 200 that have to come together to put on a game.
You just made me think of something with the Zamboni driver. I'm always fascinated when I see that. Like, are you a professional Zamboni driver, or do you go to school to do that?
Yeah, there's not many people in Charlotte that can do it. There's probably, less than a handful that can actually
drive a
Zamboni.
Have you ever done it?
I have not.
Have you ridden on it?
I haven't. So we have a seat. We have a Zamboni driver, and then we have a seat on the Zamboni, and it goes around. It takes 6 or 7 minutes to clean the ice, and we have 2 Zambonis that do it, and we put somebody on the seat. 22 years, I've never done it.
Is it like kids that go up there?
You got to be 7 years old, so 7 or older. We had an 80th birthday recently, so you got to help her up the steps a little bit.
That's great.
But it's such an experience. It's a unique experience. You don't get it anywhere else. So if you're 7, if you're 80, it works.
That's very cool. How many people are you averaging at your games for attendance?
We're just over 7,000 this year.
That's great.
It's awesome for us. The building seats 8,500.
So you're full.
Yeah,
all games.
We're maxing it out. Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays are we've had a great schedule this year. The Tuesday, Wednesday is maybe 4,500, maybe 5,000. But Charlotte has been good to us. They've responded and they're embracing the Charlotte Checkers.
Well, we had a suite on the ice in beginning of February, and I was insanely disappointed. I got super sick. I had the crud. There was no way I could get on a plane. The game was on a Friday. I got sick on Monday. Sunday. And then Monday morning I woke up. I knew it was something more than just a cold. I went to the doctor knowing this game was on Friday, and I was like, I got to get something. Like, I got to get drugs. I got to make sure I'm well enough to go to this. And I was beyond disappointed that I was not better. Everybody said this was the best Breakfast Club event, like, in our history. They had the best time.
I love to hear that.
Yes.
I mean, that's our thing, right? We're a hockey team, but we're an entertainment option. So hopefully a lot of those people came to their first Checkers game.
Yes, I think they did.
And they had the best experience, and maybe they're going to choose to buy tickets on their own, and they're going to come back with their family or with their business. And that's what's important to us, is putting on a good show when people are there for the first time. We compete against, there's so many sports teams in Charlotte, whether it's the Hornets or the Panthers or the Knights or the Ascent. But today there's 4 college basketball games for the ACC tournament going on, right? And we've got NASCAR here, and there's so much happening. So we our price point is probably, are you going to go with your friends to a brewery on a Saturday? Are you going to go bowling with your family? Are you going to go to a movie? So that's kind of where we see ourselves fitting in. And we can't forget that we can't price ourselves out of that market too.
Yeah, that's super smart. People loved it. They loved how many fights happened right on the ice, and it was hitting them.
Yeah,
yes,
for sure.
In fact, I can't remember which member had texted me this, but 2 players hit the ice so hard they fell off their chair. Like, that is crazy.
When you're getting texts from people at the event and you're not there, that's a good thing for us. That's what we like.
Yeah, no, it was fantastic. I loved it. I feel like the Checkers have always had such an amazing philanthropic side. Why don't you tell us a little bit about some of the different charitable things that you guys are involved with? And I know you guys do a lot for veterans as well.
Yeah, I think the game you were there I think we wore our CLT jerseys, and the Independence Fund is a great partner of ours. The Independence Fund is a national nonprofit, which you know a lot about. That's based here in Charlotte. And we, every year for the last maybe 5 or 6 years, we've given away a track chair. So we raised $15,000 to pay for that track chair. These veterans, they love to hunt, they love to fish, they love to be active, and they come back for more, and maybe they're missing a limb, and maybe they can't do everything that they used to. So we like to be a small part of that, and providing one local veteran with the opportunity to get back outside and do the things that they love.
Those track chairs are absolutely unbelievably amazing.
They're incredible. And the people that get put in them are unbelievable.
So deserving.
So that's what we love, is when we can put on a game, we wear a specialty jersey, that money gets sent back to a charity to make an impact here in Charlotte. That's our favorite thing to do.
I love that. What I know you guys have something new that's right around the corner that isn't quite hockey related, but it's going to fall into the Checker family. Why don't you tell everyone what's coming up?
Yeah, so our ownership group, Sawyer Sports, is starting this league called the Upshot League. It's a women's professional basketball league, and we'll have one of the inaugural teams here in Charlotte called the Charlotte Crown. I'm excited. The colors are awesome. It's a light purple, dark purple color scheme. There'll be 4 teams to start this season. We open May 21st. It'll be history. It will be a historic event. Our owner has challenged us to sell out opening night, and we got no choice, so we're going to do that.
Yeah.
So we're hoping Charlotte, supports. They're supporting women's sports with the Ascent, and there's such a void for women's basketball. We've got the WNBA, and every year the draft is coming up in late April, May, and there's about 180 women that go on a draft board. So they're talented enough to make the WNBA. But there's still, I think this year there's 14 teams, and they're expanding to 15, 16, 17 in the coming years. But there's only, say, 30 women that get drafted, and maybe 18 to 20 of them actually make a team. So all those other women that are talented enough to continue to play basketball can't do so in the States. So they either choose another profession or they go to Europe and chase their dream.
Yeah.
So we're going to give, in year 1, we're going to give 44 women that opportunity to pursue their passion, to pursue basketball, and do it here in Charlotte.
I love that. I'm
we're
excited to
excited.
come out and check out a game. That'll be really
Can't wait
fun.
to have you.
Yeah, that's going to be fantastic. So the way your schedule is with the season and as long as hockey season is, your weekends are pretty filled up like year round, aren't they?
They are. We need weekends. We need the Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays to survive, to continue to grow our fan base, to bring out the families, to attend Checkers games. And
Do your kids end up coming to a lot of games on the weekends with you?
They do.
Yeah, have
my
they
kids
become huge fans?
They're massive fans, and that's what makes it awesome, is that my kids know enough people in the building where they know I'm going to work, right? But they might want to help out. Like, hey, Dad, what can we do? Can I do something? I'm like, awesome. But then I might walk by a season ticket holder and be like, hey, can Connor and Jack sit with you for like 10 minutes? I'm gonna run and do things. So there's enough people in the building where I can be like, hey, do you mind if my kids hang out for a little bit? They'll hang out in the office. They'll hang out. They want to watch games. They love it.
I feel like you have done and your team have done such a great job over the years of branding the Checkers, and you've got so many incredible community partners. But if you had a need right now that the corporate world could help out with, what comes to mind?
That's a great question. We have great corporate support. We have great corporate partners. I think we have 80 corporate partners this year, and that number fluctuates maybe from 75 to 100, just depending upon the year and depending upon the economic climate. But would always take more, that's for sure, right? People partner with us for many reasons. Some of them might be like the Independence Fund, where they want some branding and they want a spotlight game so that we can spread their message. And I think that's what we do best, is spread our corporate partners' message to our fans. We want all of our season ticket holders and fans to become customers of our corporate partners, right? And I think we do a pretty good job of that. But yeah, we're not at the investment level that an NBA team or an NFL team is. It's super affordable, and we customize everything, whether it's a one-off game or whether it's a season-long partnership. We've got it.
I love that. Last thing I wanted to ask you about, tell our viewers about your game with the police officers and firefighters.
So we've got Salute to Heroes is a nonprofit here. It's started by Mark Bukikio. He was a former employee of the Checkers, and we used to host the game after a Checkers game. It's grown so much that it deserves its own day, and it's intense.
I've been to it. It's amazing.
So it's the police and sheriff's office play against the fire and medics. These guys practice year round. They practice and play on men's league teams, but they really just want to compete on this one day. So there's a Salute to Heroes Cup, and they've got their own sponsors. They sell 3,500, 4,000 tickets. It'll be at Bojangles Coliseum, and you get to watch a pretty cool event, right? And all that money goes back to affecting people and our heroes' families that have been affected in the Charlotte community.
I love that. Has the game happened already this year?
No, it's coming up April 2nd, I think.
April 2nd. Easter weekend?
I think that's right.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. I love that. We can definitely promote that, especially with CMPD being so involved with us. We can absolutely do that. Shawn, this was awesome. I'm a big fan of you, and I love how long we have known each other, and it's really cool to see you as president of the team now. It's a lot of fun.
Thank you for saying that. It means a lot to hear from someone that I've known for so long.
Yeah,
Thank you for
great.
having me on.
Oh, so fun. Thank you.